culture that really wasn't this like warm, bubbly, just open for collaboration environment.
Yeah.
It was very much so filled full of ego, filled full of pride. I built this, you built that. We're going to run it this way. You're going to run it that way. And so it was a lot of like head banging against the wall of like, we're doing the same things. It's not getting any better.
Yeah.
And we still failed to plan. Like I have to literally hit rock bottom to go, oh, wow, like this is bad. Mm-hmm. I need to plan.
Yeah.
I need a plan.
Sure.
And I don't know how I'm going to get out of this debt or this trouble or this business situation or whatever. And so planning is something that I think we take for granted.
What's going on, guys? This is the Seed Time and Harvest podcast, episode 26. And we're talking about plans, paths, and providence today. Mm-hmm. And this kind of stemmed from a verse that just popped in my mind. It's been coming up recently. And it's Proverbs 16:9. It says, a man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. And it's really hit me lately, dude. Like, we had some tough conversations this past week. And I just appreciate being able to actually like share what's on my heart and not just, yeah, I'm great.
Yeah.
And just keep going. And then all of a sudden everything implodes.
Well, as men, we do that.
Yeah.
You good? Yeah, I'm all right.
Oh yeah, I'm great. Yeah, I'm good. And in light of that, like I've done a lot of soul searching and just full transparency. I had a great year last year, best financial year of my life. And I thought I was just going to be able to kind of just stroll into this year and things were going to like 2X. And it just was so stupid thinking back on it. And I had to reflect on my football career and that like, if I had a bad game or we lost or, I didn't play well, I would immediately go back to the tape and I'd correct my things. I'd be incredibly, brutally honest with myself. I'm always my hardest critic, but then I ask for help as well. I'd be like, hey, what can I do here? Did I run this route well? Did I do this? And I've realized like I've had more of a challenging year this year and the market's shifted, blah, 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 rates are up, all the stuff I can't control. I'm not going to worry about it. And I could be a victim and say, oh, it's just because of this, but that's not where I want to live or where I ever desire to live.
Right.
And so I was thinking about this and like, man, I didn't really plan this year. I just thought my ability,
like business plan.
Correct. I didn't have it broken down. I didn't have a game plan. And, I'm working on kind of like a new teaching module, all based on my football career, this little teaser, I guess. But like I've realized, when you first start in this game, you're a receiver. Mm-hmm. Someone's throwing you the ball. You just got to score touchdowns. And I've shifted and moved into this role of kind of like a quarterback now. Mm-hmm. So it's a new set of skills. It's a new position. It's a completely different way to approach the game. But I was approaching it the same way I was as a receiver, which I'd done well at because I got so many reps at that.
Right.
And so it hit me like, well, how can I be upset if I didn't plan this year out? Because I don't have anything I can go review. What does it say? Like plan, do, review. Mm-hmm. Plan, do, review. Mm-hmm. And that's a never-ending process, right? And so I've just kind of had to like take a step back and be like, well, it's time to reassess and go from there. And I've realized that like I didn't create a plan. And that's where that verse hit me of I need to plan my ways, but God's going to direct all the nuance in there. So like I got to be flexible in how to get there. And so I'm just grateful for you, man, for not only the platform
Likewise,
to
man.
Just actually say what's going on inside and not be judged for that and not be, well, like I never have felt from you, Mikey and Isaac, any resentment or anger or like, how dare you, blah, blah, blah. It's just been like, no, you're actually wrong. And here's why. And like, I need those type of people in my life. And so,
dude, I mean, the feeling's mutual and you know that. And I think for our listeners, right, that like don't know the backstory of every detail that you just went through, I think that most people can relate, myself included, to poorly planning anything, right? And I always, as you're talking, I'm thinking in my head of a million different things, like when we talk about poor planning or no plan. Mm-hmm. And, for me, as a realtor, I only planned on going under contract every weekend.
Yeah.
Right. That's the only plan I had. I planned on investing in a shit ton of Zillow leads, and I planned on answering the phone calls, and I planned on let's submit an offer and get a contract every weekend. If I can do that, I'll have 36 closings a year. right? And I'll make X amount of money, and I think I can do this. Well, that plan worked well for a while, right? Just really just off my ability to just meet people, convert, and they were likable. You know, they liked me, they trusted me enough to do the deal or whatever. Well, that when we merged with Move Mortgage and we got launched into a flex market, that plan went out the door.
Yeah.
I mean, everything that we had known, the receiver side of things, right? Everything that we knew, every route we memorized, every workout we were doing, it was done.
Yeah.
It was all of a sudden, now it was like, well, now you have to be the quarterback. He's going to be the coach. He's the offensive coordinator. She's, the defensive line coach. And I'm going, wait, but no, I just score touchdowns. Like, no, not anymore.
Yeah.
So when you're talking, it like really resonated with me of like, and our first year after the merger and Zillow Flex, we still didn't really have this like cohesive plan, right? And then the reason is because we were around, people, and we were in an organization and an office and culture that really wasn't this like warm, bubbly, just open for collaboration environment.
Yeah.
It was very much so filled full of ego, filled full of pride. I built this, you built that. We're going to run it this way. You're going to run it that way. And so it was a lot of like head banging against the wall of like, we're doing the same things. It's not getting any better.
Yeah.
And we still failed to plan. Right. And so sometimes you have to, not for everyone, but for me, I have to hit rock bottom. And I think you're similar in this, right? Like I have to literally hit rock bottom to go, oh, wow, like this is bad. Mm-hmm. I need to plan.
Yeah.
I need a plan.
Sure.
And I don't know how I'm going to get out of this debt or this trouble or this business situation or whatever. And so planning is something that I think we take for granted because we don't plan our days like accordingly. We don't plan our workouts. We kind of show up and do what we've always known. Yeah. We're not planning our meals, right? We're not planning our date nights with our spouses. We're not planning our time with our kids. We're not very intentional.
Yeah.
With our lives, right? But in business, you're way more intentional. So it's like a mentor that I had years ago told me, why aren't you treating your life the same way you're treating your business?
Interesting.
And you and I talked about this a while ago. Remember, like talking about our financial plans, personal financial plans of like, if you, and for those of you not using ChatGPT, get on that shit and start asking it questions and start talking to it, because if you're not, you're going to get left behind by the people that are using this, right? Mm-hmm. So I went on and built this like 6-year financial plan. Yeah. And it took me a while. And there was definitely some hard moments of like, wow, I'm not even going to be out of this debt until this time based off just math, no matter what money I'm making. And it was really eye-opening for me to kind of see what that was. And I mean, even today, right? Like episode 26, right? We've done 25 episodes just on our ability to kind of just shoot the shit. Right. And so even taking this to the next level, for our listeners and for our own personal professional growth, is to start planning more effectively. And so I think today, the message giving out to whether it's a man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. I think we fail to plan constantly, right? For sure. And vulnerability is a big one in this. Where myself, I've been there, you've been there, where you go to your friends, your peers, or mentors or whoever and go, man, I just messed up. This is on me. Yeah. I was looking at this totally differently. I thought I was fast enough to win the race. I blew out my calf. I didn't train right. Yeah. And to be able to like accept that your inability to plan is the reason why you're at this stage, right? And so those are tough realizations. Yeah. As a man to hit those. And so I always admire your willingness to be humble and vulnerable, and it's the reason why we're friends. I think in our culture, men specifically, women too. I mean, there's like the alpha females and beta females, and there's alpha males and beta males. And when you're around, you don't want to admit that you need help. Yeah. Right, you don't, and because sometimes the things I need help with typically are really simple things that like most people do. Right, that's the old like balancing your checkbook deal. Like I was always like, nah, dude, I'll just make more money. Yeah, right? Like I was never taking these like really nerdy, maniacal steps to like manage my money.
Yeah.
Like I was like, if I have this much in the bank, and I was just like, I just like mentally calculate like, oh, my bills are around this, and if I was always in my head instead of like this budget.
Yeah.
I was kind of clown people like I'm like, you're on a budget, homie.
Yeah.
Nice. Like you can't go eat lunch today because of your budget.
Yeah.
But then now I'm like, damn, maybe they were onto something.
Like, what do they say? Like, success leaves clues. Mm-hmm. Like, just start paying attention to what people do. And like I always say, don't trust a chubby trainer, you know? And it's like, follow results.
Yeah.
And that's just super simple. And like, I'm looking down here, and like, one of the things I think we all instinctively crave, you know, clarity. We all crave order. I heard someone say once, genius always has a desk that's completely out of order. And I was like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you want your desk, like your personal space? And so I think you can tell a lot about a person by just walking into their house.
Or their car.
Or their car, yeah. And like, if it's a train wreck, chances are they're a train wreck up here as well. And so it's just like, I think we always do crave order, but like when we're in that process, it's like for me, looking back on my life, I've had almost this fear of planning, and that's been an interesting revelation.
That is interesting
because I remember when I first
because of failure.
I think it's the accountability piece. When I have a plan, there's no other option. I always, as a football player, I always had people creating that plan for me.
Right.
Like I never went into a game.
Yeah, they had the game plan, right?
There was never a game we went into that was just like, yeah, we're going to lose.
Yeah.
There was always a plan to win. Yeah. Did it always go like that? Absolutely not. But we went into that, you know? And so I think I developed at a young age. Like I played on some horrible teams. And so it was so frustrating. I won 6 games my whole high school career in 3 years.
Damn.
So it was incredibly frustrating.
And you made it to D1 after that?
Yeah. Only because I went to camp at football.
Gotcha.
You know? So it was like, I would have gone crazy if I was focusing on wins and losses. So I had to kind of internalize and like, well, I played great this game and I made all the tackles and I caught these passes. So it was a very like selfish mentality I developed, you know, and I wasn't even voted team captain my senior year. And I always remember that. I was like, and I look back on it now and it's like, I must have portrayed some type of like FU vibe to people because it was like,
interesting.
You know, I was just so focused on me. And so coming into like my training career, I remember I never got my license because I didn't want to take a step back to get certified as a trainer. Because I just started training people because I had to make money. I was
the same way.
And I was like, well, I don't need that. But it kicked my...
I was the best uncertified trainer
Exactly. And I used to wear that as like a badge of honor. Like, I'm not even certified. I'm doing what you're doing. But then I had an opportunity with Nike. And you
didn't get it.
I was one of like 5 trainers who were going to be like Nike trainers in Chicago.
Oh, shit.
And I didn't get it because I wasn't certified.
Damn.
And so, you know, coming into real estate now, like
what did that feel like? Like what did you feel in that? So you made it all this way. Nike, Nike.
Yep.
It's like, we want you.
I was teaching classes on Michigan Avenue at the Nike store.
And so then they came to you, recruited you, like, we want you to be a brand ambassador for us and train here. Just give us your paperwork.
Exactly.
And you're like, oh, I don't have it. I went to the school of Hard Knocks.
They researched me and there was like, he doesn't have a certification.
Okay,
so
that's really that you had the cold realization that the school of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, because all the other guys I was in that program with.
Far.
Exactly.
Wow.
So like I've kind of had this fear of organization, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I kind of just like,
oh yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense at all.
Oh, it makes sense to me.
That's why we're talking, obviously. Yeah. But like, I think when you have the plan, then all you have to do is execute it and it removes all the excuses.
Right.
So like going back to ChatGPT, I second that. Like you've got to use ChatGPT. I punched my whole budget into ChatGPT and it spit out a 5-year game plan to be completely out of debt.
Yep.
And it was like, I have so much freedom in that now because now I just have to execute.
Lift it off.
Yeah. Because it's not this like, I don't know, you know? So I think like we instinctively crave that. And it's like you have clarity, efficiency, and better decision making. Because it's like when you have a plan, you're able to just execute it then, you know? And so I think one thing that I've really, it's a strength of mine, like my own work ethic, my own ability, but without that plan tied to that, you're only going to go so far.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you think about the real estate side of this, right? Like this is, it goes back. So we run our coaches corners. We try to teach these youngsters and or whoever, right? To a better way,
Sure.
To do this job, to manage your career. And it is always about like the plan, the play, right? And so like in onboarding and everything, and you've gone through, handfuls of these things. Like, more than you can count. You've sat in that room with us, right? And so it's like hearing us talk about this, and now it makes so much sense even like to why like Mikey and Isaac, like the corporate brains, like those types of leaders that they have always been planning and structured type humans, right? And you can see the way they live their life. And if you go into their homes and their cars, it's like, did you just buy this car? Like, don't you have children? You know what I mean? Like, damn, dude, I need to up my game, right? And so like, that's what I've always admired about those two. But they were the ones that really helped me institute like the plan with real estate, like the showing checklist. And hey, if you do this every time, you'll win. If you say these words, yes, make them your own. But if you go through this framework and then you do this and then you send this text, your life in this career is going to work. Yeah, you're actually going to have a career. And it took me a long time, even teaching it. I was like, sort of, I don't want to say hypocrite, like hypocritically teaching, because I never ran my business that way. I ran by the seat of my pants. I was building the airplane on the way down. I was asking for someone else's parachute. You know what I mean? Like, but I somehow found success, like a good amount. So I was always like, there's a few athletes I grew up with that, that could score touchdowns and could run and could lift, and just God-given just abilities, right? Yeah. That you were just like, everyone else had to go to summer camps and train, and these guys were smoking blunts, like, just showing up after summer. You know them. You grew up with them, and so did I. And it's like, but then you follow their careers. Now, if they make it to the league, they either excel because they get in there and they had this structure going in, or they go in and they fail because their God-given abilities when they get to the league, or even D1, goes away, goes out the door, because now you're in the room filled full of everyone that's your ability, right? And I think that's the struggle even in real estate, is there's a handful of people, yourself included, and a handful of others that really go in and they're like, this is my plan, this is what I say, this is how I do it. And you're surrounded by almost like, like that, the mid-level, I don't really run this like a serious business. And it is hard to click because not everyone is like locked into this plan. And so with real estate, man, your real estate career can go to the next level if you're showing up knowing how many leads you need to take, how many appointments you need, how many offers you need to submit. This is probably going to equate to this many showings. Yeah. And now you just know your business, and now you can grow your business, right? So I love it. I love this topic because it is something where I have had to get really, really comfortable with that discomfort of planning and organization, because I'm the most organized, unorganized person you'll ever meet. Like, so I mean, writing things down, asking for reminders, asking Siri to remind you at 8 a.m. to make sure you text so-and-so or whatever, right? It's tough.
Yeah, man, it's making me think of the old story of Joseph, in the Bible, and how he was literally sold into slavery. He's kidnapped. He's works his way up through his ability. He becomes the servant for the king, essentially. Then the king's wife comes on to him, lies about it. He gets thrown in jail. People forget about him, and then he gets out of the jail because he's able to read or interpret dreams, and he creates a plan. He has a dream that says there's going to be 7 years of plenty, then 7 years of famine. So he builds these incredible storehouses. They've actually found these in Egypt. And it's like these huge
there's all kinds of shit surfacing now.
Yeah. And he built the storehouse when things were good, he created a plan, then he executed on it. And I think he's this one of those people you can look to and be like, yeah, he trusted in the process too. He created the plan, but he didn't stress out about it.
He didn't get distracted. He didn't drift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's man, it's humbling when you go to the bottom again, but it's also incredibly a grateful time.
It is.
Because it's when you have the mindset, everything's working out for my good. I know I'm always been taken care of. I've been through this before. It's okay, now it's time to make some adjustments. And that's where I feel I'm at right now. It's you haven't set this plan in motion. You got lucky, essentially. Yeah, you worked hard, but you didn't really have a plan. So like, how can you be upset when the plan didn't get achieved when you didn't have it?
You didn't even do it. Yeah, you didn't even have an idea of what you were going to do.
Yeah, it's just like most people get upset when they don't achieve their New Year's resolutions, but then like they don't ever make them. And so it's just like, and I don't even believe in New Year's resolutions. Like, just make a decision if you want to. So man, it's just like, I feel like I'm all over the place today.
It's all good.
Because I'm like, I got so many things going through my mind, but it's really like going back to my football career, like what I know. Like I got really good at being a receiver, but I actually always wanted to play quarterback.
Really?
Yeah. Like I could throw the ball forever. I was tall, all that stuff. And so it's funny that that's like almost coming full circle now, but I'm at a chapter of life where like it's in a completely different arena.
Okay.
And my coach Reggie always says like football was your training ground, and you learn life based on what your gift does for you. So like your gift will make way for you.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
I mean, and your gift, in my opinion, too, can also distract you, and you can drift, because I felt personally and professionally that I always had the gift to build trust in people like really quickly.
Yeah.
So in real estate, like I didn't show up as prepared as I should have shown up, right? Like I didn't have the CMAs. I didn't have my buyer's guides. I didn't even have a damn business card most of the time, right?
Yeah.
Like I knew I could show up
selling
suited up.
$5 million houses.
Yeah, I knew I could show up suited up.
Yeah.
And I was good enough at having a conversation with someone, and my market knowledge and just my ability to look and sound like a pro, and also like dive into them like personally, professionally. Like I knew I could weasel my way into a relationship pretty quickly, and that it caught up to me at the end, because I was losing more business than I was gaining. I was losing business to people like Isaac that were showing up, way more prepared than I was, that was showing up with data, showing up with talking points, a plan, a strategy, right? And I was winging it essentially. And it took me about 4 or 5 years of like achieving some success to realize, why did I lose this listing? Why did they just ghost me? What happened here? And I'm like, it would be like those low months or low quarters. Then I'm like, I should have. And then I'm following up with people, and they're going, oh yeah, Alex, we actually went a different direction. Thank you for calling us. And I really
appreciate your time.
Yeah, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And I then had the courage to call and ask them, can I ask you directly, like, why you chose such and such realtor? And the reason why I'm asking you, and I'm hoping that you're honest with me on the feedback, is because I don't want this to happen again. Like, I'm trying to be better in my career, and if I'm losing you as a client, you clearly went a different direction because of something that I didn't do or didn't offer, some value proposition that I just didn't have. And a lot of the time, it was my lack of preparation. Well, the other person just showed up to our listing presentation. They had all this paperwork and documents and this, that, and the other. We loved you.
Yeah.
But they were just so much more prepared. We just felt way more comfortable. They really knew this market, this neighborhood. They really knew that. And I'm like, I grew up here. But it all went out the window because someone showed up with a plan and a prep and strategy. Whether they were, 5'4", an old man, balding, and overweight, but they just had their shit together. And I showed up thinking like, hey, look at me, I'm your guy. And they're like, no, actually you're not. And so I went through a lot of humbling moments just in my career too. So for those listening in the real estate space or any business that you're in, showing up like a pro matters, with a plan, a strategy, and solutions and next steps. And a lot of people don't like to do that because it's like not my style, bro. Like, it's not the cool way to do it. I just want to do my thing, dude. I'm not afraid to show my tattoos. And I'm like, I really had to reset, just like you did, of like, okay, time out. I'm going broke.
Yeah.
I need to go back to like literally the basics. And I started doing all the stuff again, dude. I started clipping like 60% conversion.
That's awesome.
Because then your God-given ability matched with a plan, dude, and that's when God does some work.
And
it's
that's
like,
the difference between a Michael Jordan, a Kobe Bryant, and
that's all it is, dude.
A Vince Carter.
That's it.
Yes. Like Vince
Perfect
Carter.
analogy.
incredible talent,
dude, a freak,
but like didn't have the same.
No, he could just jump out of the gym.
Exactly.
And he always just was like,
Yeah, great player.
Yeah.
But like he could have potentially been.
He still can yam it down.
Yeah, for sure.
56 years old. Boom.
80-inch vertical.
Yeah,
it only drops to 40, you know?
Man, dude, that's cool.
It's making me think of this quote I heard once. It's like, a poorly executed plan, or how's it go? A plan executed well that's poor is worth more than a great plan that's executed bad.
Yep.
And it's just like, you know, you can do all the stuff, but like you got to execute.
Yeah.
And that's like really what it is, you know?
Yeah, dude.
And so that's why I always say like real estate's a full contact sport. And like I love it because it's merit based.
Yeah.
But it's also humbling because it's going to reveal the shortcomings you have in you. And I think that's like being an entrepreneur in general. Like technically, like I don't think being in real estate is entrepreneurial. Like I didn't start this brokerage from zero. Like you're getting a little bit of a jump. You're starting at step 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's very true.
It's all based on your ability.
That's right.
And your ability to ultimately execute. And so it's like, I've been thinking lately, like, I want to be so good that after I meet with someone, they literally have to think they're stupid in order to not hire me. Like, I want them to walk and be like, oh my gosh, like, I would be dumb not to hire Nate. And like, I want to get to that place. And like, it has to be where you're doing the same thing every time. And like the new guys I'm working with, I say the same jokes every time.
Yeah.
And like, I'll tweak little things. I was coaching one guy, like, I'll tweak like my intro, like how I say this, but I have it down so much to where it's like, man, it's second nature, you know? And I show up every time with the CMA, well, not a CMA, but my buyer's guide. If the client needs a CMA, I'll bring one, but like, I know that neighborhood and all that. And so like, I feel like the receiver piece down and where I'm like, yeah, now it is time to become a quarterback. And so it's like, I got to just take a step back or 2 steps back to take 10 steps forward or 100 steps forward. Yeah, and man, it's just like, it's humbling, bro.
Well, and it's also too with like purpose, right?
Yeah.
And like there, right? A man's heart plans his way. And I think that that's something, right? Like a quote where a man's heart plans his way, or a woman's heart plans her way. I think a lot of people get into real estate or whatever job they're in because it's a paycheck.
Yeah.
Right? And they need to get paid. They need a job. They need to pay their rent. They need to get groceries. They need to get gas. They need to pay their car insurance, blah, 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 blah. And so you really just get into these positions where you're just working to pay bills. And there's a shelf life just in your emotional stability there. Like you're eventually going to hit some weird wall or burnout. And that's why people job hop and they go from this career to that career and this career to that career. And it's because you have no purpose. There's no heart in it. And real estate's tough because your purpose is like, was it really like, am I really behind the whole like families helped thing? Right, because we all do want our commissions at the end, and we're all in this because we want a work-life balance and all the stuff that real estate says you can achieve and accomplish. But like, man, if your heart's not in it, and I don't think what I'm trying to say is like, I don't think your heart has to be in your job, because jobs are kind of, jobs and careers are kind of a dime a dozen. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some people out there truly living their passions.
For sure.
Like this is like they got into this nonprofit because man, they're living like an undeniable like plan to just, you know, stop world hunger or the climate or whatever. And these people just are one track minds and they do great things, and the Elon Musks and the people that are just like, but that's not the majority, that's the minority. Like we can name these people on one hand who's like really just changed the world. Yeah. Right. And so the majority of us need to find purpose in like our day-to-day lives and planning. And that's where the whole Be 1% Better comes in. Because if you and I were to go through even this or coaches' corners of like, are our hearts full every time we show up to the office? Like, that's tough. Yeah. Like, I love working with you. I love working with Mikey, with Isaac, and the people here. So our hearts are full in many different ways, but man, like the day-to-day grind of the job does beat you down. Yeah. The ungrateful clients do beat you down. The rebates on your commissions, the Zillow splits, you can get wrapped up into like, do I even really want to do this? Yeah. But I think if you look further, of like, okay, this is what I'm doing. And the plan for me is I'm going to do this until I've reached this milestone. And when I get to this milestone, we've talked about this before about peaks and valleys and all this stuff. When I get here, I'm going to replan, readjust, because I'm now elevating, whether it's financially, emotionally, spiritually, whatever, physically, and you just keep getting better and better and better. That's where a lot of people's wealth and real freedom doesn't come until they're like 50s.
Yeah.
You know, like in their 50s, because they like finally have figured this shit out.
Yeah.
It's tough. And so, I mean, I think for those of you like searching for purpose and to fulfill your heart, that is a tough place to be in, because most of our jobs don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, and so just to find partnership, find people you like working with.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what, like, I've kind of like married that concept. Like, I love working with you. I love working with these guys. And that's why it's always hard when people leave and go to other teams and do things, because I'm like, man, you're still you there.
Wherever you go, there you are.
Wherever you go, there you are, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's still the same game. Maybe you find some love over there, but man, dude, the grass is not always greener. And so it's interesting. It's hard to find purpose. And so, yeah, like a man's heart does plan his way, you know, and you do need diligence, hard work, stewardship. And those are all biblical.
Yeah.
You do need that, but you also need fellowship.
Yeah.
Right? Like the men's group we do here is incredible. Right? Like, and the things we talk about the future, it's like, man, we're just getting started with this stuff.
Yeah.
We just need to keep taking little steps, little action. So we do, because you and
I think that's like what I want anyone listening to this to get is you've got to make the plan. Every new climb creates a plan or needs a plan, but that's where the 1% better comes in. And that, like, as I execute this plan, I'm just working a little bit more. Like, the way I see it is like, can I look at myself at the end of the day and be like, yes, you gave your best. Like, battling these migraines the last couple of days. Yeah, I gave my best because I had to go home and just sleep. You know what I mean? So it's not always I punched the clock for 20 hours and closed 14 deals and made $100 million. You know, it's just like, what is your best every day? And if you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, yeah, I got a little bit better. And it's just like, for me, like, I take it to the gym. Like, I try to do like one rep more.
Dude, that's where I was
when I'm
just
in my
about to
mind,
go
like,
with
I'll
it.
do 5. Nope, I'm doing 7. You
Dude,
know,
that's where I was
and
just going to go with this.
That little tiny bit. I think that's like why fitness is so powerful.
Yes,
is because it's not only hard, it's never easy, but like it's that little 1% every single day. And like, it's funny we adopted that phrase because I wrote that when I first joined in real estate. I put that on my LinkedIn profile, like 1% better.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And it's like, it says to serve daily, 1% better every day.
Damn, dude. I mean, and I think, dude, not to harp on like the fitness side too much, but that is something that no matter what career you're in, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are emotionally, spiritually, financially, you could be low and you start moving your body.
Yeah.
And you get through that 3, 4, 5, 6 months of consistent movement. Your life's changed.
Yeah.
Like, you're a different human. Right. And I've always stayed in the gym. And I know yesterday I made a joke to the team of like, I finally fit this jacket after 6 years. But it was true.
Yeah.
Like, I've never been like overweight.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that no one could see.
But you got that fitted shirt and the belly fits a little tighter.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like,
it's hard to button that front button. Like, it's annoying.
Exactly. Well, it wouldn't button. Or it would look like it was about to pop off.
Fat guy. You're not fat, bro. Yeah. I'm not saying that.
No, but no, dude, I was not living my best life, the best version of me. Like, I was still moving, but it was what I was eating. It's what I was drinking. It's what I was putting in my body. It's how I was sleeping. It's like my cheat meals were cheat months, cheat quarters. I'm talking like, dude, I would binge like pizza, Arby's and shit, dude. Seriously. Like, it was, and
DoorDashing at 2 a.m.
Oh, dude, like you name it. And especially when I was going through like that huge transition in my life, like, dude, booze and food would just release so much dopamine for me that I'm like, man, like, this one makes me feel so good. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what it was, but I'm like, I'm done. I was like, I'm just done. I'm going to live like the most righteous life when it comes to health.
Yeah.
And see what this does. I'm going to give this my all. And I made that decision. Well, I made it like with sobriety when Haley got pregnant with Elle, like no more booze. And I still have like a beer, a glass of wine. Like I didn't stop drinking because I was full blown alcoholic or something. I was like, I'm so done with the way that this makes me feel.
Yeah.
Well, fast forward like 6-7 months ago, I was like, okay, I'm going to change my food and I'm going to actually have a plan, like a regimen. So I just went to Mikey. I was like, dude, will you send me your workouts every day? Dude, in like the first 3-4 weeks, I was like, you're doing this? I was like, I'd get done and I'm like, how many rounds was I supposed to do? And he's like, well, 4. And I'm like, dude, I got 1.5.
Yeah.
You're doing 4 rounds of this shit? And he's like, well, yeah, well, you got to work into that. And so, but you look at him and you see his physique and you're like, damn, dude, this, but if you ask him how long he's been doing that, he'll say 25 years. Never veered.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're like, whoa, okay, well, I'm behind, but I'm gonna try to catch you. Right. I'm gonna do my best to pursue that.
Yeah.
And so fast forward 7 months later, I go get a full blood panel. Shout out to Physical Dimensions. Okay, this place has saved my life. I'm a believer in Physical Dimensions. You go to.
Yeah.
They've
been a pincushion lately.
Oh yeah, they do a full blood panel. And I know this has like been a trend online, but the full blood panel, and I got everything checked. And come to find out, there's like borderline, like potentially like celiac disease, an enormous allergy for gluten, blood in my intestines, blood in my, like, dude, I'm like, my guts were just destroyed. And I knew something was wrong because I would eat like before I was even done eating a meal, I was like, oh, I don't feel well.
Interesting.
And I just ignored it, the discomfort and pain for, I don't know, 20 years.
Wow.
And so I just yesterday, I got this phone call of like, you need to make some serious life changes when it comes to food. She was like, luckily, the past 6-7 months of the changes that you've made are like, you're like triathlete health. Like you are healthy, off the charts healthy.
Yeah.
So now we just need to cover the food. She said, normally when I'm in these conversations, it's everything and it's too much for someone. Because now they have to stop drinking. They have to start working out. They have to start waking up early. They have to clean up their food. They have to wake up earlier. They have to drink more water. They have to take their vitamins. They have to, and this is a person that's been living pretty radically, for their whole life. And then they get this news that they have to change their life and they never do. And then colon cancer comes.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm like, so she sends me this list of all these fucking vitamins and it's like easily $800 a quarter worth of stuff. And I'm like, damn, dude, I made a joke. I'm like, damn, this is expensive. And she's like, well, it's not as expensive as colon cancer. And I was like, oh shit, that's a good point. So it's like, I'm just telling anyone that's on here, like I made a choice 7 months ago that had I not made, maybe that blood work came back with, you need a colonoscopy and you're at high risk for colon cancer, which I still have to go through some channels there. But she's like, you're fine, dude. Your red cells and white cells, like you're good, but we need to dial in your food.
For sure.
It was like, I was all emotional before the meeting because I'm like, man, what if I didn't do that?
Yeah.
What if 2 years ago I didn't make that decision to stop drinking? What if I would have kept going on the way that path I was? What if I would have still eaten all the pizza and the bullshit and the wings and the fries and and then I got to this point and she's like, this is bad, Alex. And here I am 40 years old, hearing like horrific news. So the 1% better on your health, dude, I was more motivated in the gym today than I've been since I was in high school sports, dude. Like I was ready, like, oh man, it's working.
Yeah.
But it's months and months of dedication with, decent results, but not like, I'm not like diced up like I'm like, I feel good. Sure. I look good, but I'm not like where I want to be.
Sure.
But now I'm working out not because of like vanity. And my whole life I would always work out to see like how I looked versus how I felt. So I was doing a lot of like just typical bodybuilder bullshit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's important, man. And I mean, I've learned a lot even from you and like your consistency and seeing your home gym. Like you need that stuff, man. You gotta stay moving. And your kids, right? Like, does Isaiah? Does he see you work out and he's like inspired even as a little kid?
Oh, I'm always torn of like, do you like, man, you're lifting this weight, right? Or is it more like just lead by example?
Yeah, just lead by example, dude.
So like we were down there this morning. He's like, Dad, let me hang on this. And I'm like, go jump to get it. Just like the bar was, I don't know, 6 inches above his reach. And just like little stuff like that, like working towards that. And we just signed him up for football today.
Hell yeah, dude.
And he goes, Dad, can you run with me? And I got this foot injury I'm dealing with. I'm just like, oh, buddy.
He's just immediately depressed.
Yeah.
Sure, buddy.
But like he wants to play football.
That's so cool.
He said over baseball, any of that. Of course, it's flag football. But
of course,
like,
yeah.
So I get to coach him on Sundays now, which is like super awesome.
Oh, man, dude.
But man, to go back to what you were saying, like to tie this all back into the plan piece, it's like a lot of people are looking for motivation. Or if you're looking for motivation, you're going to be up when you get it and you're going to be down when you're not. And like you need a plan and then you just need to execute the plan. And that's discipline. And it's not sexy at all, you know?
It's the worst.
And like tying it back into real estate again, like I've done it in my fitness for literally decades where I just keep showing up. But then like some days you have like, oh man, I ran a 4.3. Then you don't see all the days where I ran a 4.6, you know? Or like, I failed under the squat rack, or I, didn't do this, but I never had that mentality in the gym. I just kept showing up. But then in business, I want this like lottery mentality of like, I show up for a week and
it's gonna happen.
I'm shredded.
It's going to happen.
And it's just like, what the heck, dude?
Yeah.
And that's where like the fitness piece comes in. Cause it's like, it's not going to come overnight.
No.
But business isn't either.
No.
Faith isn't either.
No.
A great marriage isn't either.
No.
Like just go down the line. It's the seed time and harvest.
Yep.
That was a great segue into something I didn't intend.
Yeah,
and that's like really why I named it this, because I'm finally like okay with that. I've always tried to fast forward the harvest piece, and it's never going to happen,
No, man.
So, man, I think that's a good place to wrap with that.
Yeah.
I would say for anyone listening, create a plan, but then you've got to trust in the process and not be rigid and like, I got to do it, even though I set up A, B, C, D, E. But then sometimes that plan starts and you got to go A, C, E, back to B.
Yep.
And like, that's okay,
Yep.
So I just encourage anyone who's listening to make your plans this week, but just understand God's going to direct your steps.
Yep.
Like you've got to set it. You got to take the first step, but he's going to come in and make it even better than you thought or could imagine. And we're trying to take this podcast to the next level as well.
Yes.
We're planning this thing much more because honestly, we've just kind of winged it.
Yep.
And it's been great. But like, I want anyone listening to this to whatever platform they're on, comment, text us, send us a message, throw it in the chat, whatever that is, of like what you guys want from this and how we can help you guys. Because, service to many leads to greatness. And we're not here to just have a therapy session, even though this is great.
That's always nice.
Yeah. So this is episode 26. Grateful to run with you, bro.
Yes, likewise.
Seed time and harvest.
Peace.